What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Nick Energy YouTube channel. Mill here with another post-game show. This one was a win. The Knicks took the win against the Cavaliers 107-98. I definitely did not think that they would be able to win this game after the first play of the game where Jalen Brunson went down. That was a very scary moment. I'm sure all of us Knicks fans, our hearts stopped in that moment, and we thought our season was over because at first glance, that injury, it didn't look too good. It didn't look too good, I'll say that. Some might have thought that looked like a tear, whether that be an ACL tear or something else, but that wasn't the case. As you can see next to me, per Bondi, Thibodeau said Jalen Brunson has a knee contusion and the x-rays are negative, so a knee contusion is probably the best news we could hear, compared to having a torn ACL or anything of that matter. So I'm really glad that we got that news right there. I was just researching it, looking it up. What's the recovery time on that type of injury? When I looked it up, it first said, the least would be a few days. Someone could recover and heal in a few days, or it could also take a few weeks, 2 to 4. I'm a lot of people are saying 2 weeks, so yeah, it could take a few weeks. Our guess is that it'll take somewhere around 2 weeks. Hopefully, you don't want the max, which is 4, because at that point, that's just not good at all if we were to miss Brunson for a month, and even more than a month. But we got good news. It's not a torn ACL. It is a knee contusion. That's the update there. And again, that could be a few weeks. It could be a few days. We don't really know right now. We'll get more updates from the reporters, from the medical staff as he does more tests. I'm just really glad that we have this news right here. And what's up to Almighty in the chat? He said, what's good? This was a really, really crazy game. I mean, literally the first play of the game, Brunson goes down. The first play. And I was extremely, extremely scared to see him go down the way he did, because it was a non-contact play where he went up, he went down, and he was in a lot of pain. He could barely walk. He needed help walking off the court to the locker room. It did not look good at all. And in that moment, I went on Twitter. I went on Twitter/X, and I saw a lot of Knicks fans saying our season's over. It was fun while it lasted, but we got good news, guys. We got good news. His injury is mild. It's a very mild sports injury, and he should be back within a week or two. Hopefully, if everything progresses and he heals well. Almighty said, wasn't this the same injury that Kawhi had, knee contusion? It does sound familiar. It definitely sounds familiar. I'm going to look that up after the post-game show, and, once I get back on, I'll talk about it. But I'm curious what other athletes or what other basketball players have had this injury before and what their recovery time looked like. I'm hoping it's not the max, which I've seen on the web, was 4 weeks. I'm really hoping it's not that. I'm hoping it's 1 to 2 weeks. I really don't mind losing him at that point, that many weeks, because if he needs to heal, he needs to heal. Hit him up said still holding on to that 4th seed. Yep, we're still holding on. This team, man, after tonight's game, this team went off. And let's see. I just saw another comment. BKE themselves said, he's fine. We got the update. All right. I like to hear that. I like to hear that. He's good. I trust BKE. They have the sources. They got it. And even Bondi said it's not anything. Well, he didn't say it's not anything serious, but it's a knee contusion, which isn't serious. It's a very mild sports injury. So I trust that he's good. Hopefully he'll be back, within the next week. Hit him up said, Knicks always smacking the Cavs around. Donovan Mitchell can't be happy. I'm telling you guys, I had a lot of hope going into this game, because not only did we bully the Cavs in the playoffs last season, I just felt like this Knicks team will always bully them. We own the Cavs. I'm going to say it, that we just straight up own them. We won that playoff series, and it's just, I have so much hope that if we were to rematch against them in the playoffs, we would win that series again. Even though they're the 2 seed right now, they've been playing extremely well, winning a lot of games. Literally number 2. in the Eastern Conference. But if we were to match up against them, let's say we're number 7, or what is it? Either 7 or 6. Well, 6 is going against 3, so 7 is going against 2. If we were to match up against them, we would full on win that series. It'd be a good series. It definitely would. But I say we take that again. I mean, look, I know they were shorthanded too. Obviously, they didn't have Donovan Mitchell. They didn't have LeVert. But we were extremely shorthanded. The moment we lost Jalen Brunson, we were down 4 starters. And we were, I definitely think that with the guys we were missing, that was harder on our end than them missing Donovan Mitchell and LeVert. They still had some core pieces on that court right there. Garland, Allen, lots of core pieces, and even Strus. He's been stepping up for them, so he was playing as well. So when we lost Brunson, we were then down Brunson, Randall, OG, Mitch. That's a lot of guys right there, and those guys are starters. They're the core of this team. So I really thought we wouldn't have a chance to win this game, but that was quite the opposite. This Knicks team stepped up. Every other guy on this team stepped up the moment Brunson went down, and they did it. They really worked hard. They played hard. Shout out to Josh Hart, man. He had a triple-double tonight. I'm going to say the stat line right here. 13 points, 10 assists, 19 rebounds. Yeah, you heard that right, 19 rebounds. You're telling me this guy at 6'4" is grabbing 19 rebounds. That's insane. Along with 2 steals and 3 blocks. That dude does it all. And I just had to tweet about it on X saying, I've been down on Josh Hart before. I've criticized him earlier in the season when he was going through a really large funk, not able to hit shots. But this dude is straight balling. Ever since we've gone down, the Knicks have gone down, guys have gone down between OG, Randall. He has stepped up, and he's been playing huge minutes for us, and he's just working hard. He's literally doing what he can to help get this team wins. And he said it in his post-game interview. He's not trying to be someone he's not. He's not trying to do it all like how Brunson is for this team. He's our best player. He's not trying to be like that. He's just doing what he can do. And that's grabbing the boards, that's getting the steals, making whatever shot he can, 13 points, and hitting clutch shots he did tonight. If you guys remember that 3 tonight where the Knicks were only up 3 points, there's about a minute left. Shot clock is expiring. There's about a second left. He hits the 3. I mean, it can't get better than that. He had a great game tonight. I really can't emphasize how huge he's been. Ever since we've sustained a lot of injuries to this team, he's been stepping up, and he's a hard worker. You can tell. Every game he shows up, and even if he is in a shooting funk, he's not shooting really well, he'll still do the other things. He'll grab those rebounds. He'll out-hustle guys. He'll run up the court. He does all the little things, and it really reminds me of when we first got him last season. When we saw it for the very first time as Knicks fans, we saw what he can do for us. That second half of the season we got him. He was phenomenal, and I really think he turns it on for the second half of every season. So if that's the case, I'm excited to have him continue playing. I know he played a lot of minutes, though. Let's see. He played 45 minutes. That's a lot. I know he's going to be super, super exhausted tonight, and I don't know how he does it. Literally the last game, too. He played, I think, nearly the entire game. He played 47 minutes the last game. So to then play 45 again tonight, this guy, he needs to ice his knees. I'm afraid that sooner or later he's going to be, his legs are going to wear out, but he had to do it. He put this team on his back when Brunson went down, and he stepped up. Tim Savage edit said, prayers out to Brunson. Big reason our team is where it is. Thank God it's not an Achilles injury. Hopefully OG and Randall come back this month. Yeah, thank God that it is not worse and that it's just a knee contusion, which is a very mild injury. Should be, a week, maybe another week, 2 weeks. But thank goodness. And you're right. I do believe that OG and Randall can come back this month. They're making progress. I believe that OG was cleared for non-contact basketball activity, so he can practice on the court. He just can't play with contact yet. And I believe the same's for Randall because we saw him warming up tonight there in Cleveland. He was warming up with the trainers, with the team. I don't think he's making contact yet. I have to double check on that, but they're making progress. They're supposed to, I believe they're supposed to come back this month. And, just hopefully they do. Almighty said, oh, this is a different comment. Almighty said, OG is definitely coming back. I say later this week. We haven't seen much footage of him. We've been getting a lot of footage of Randall. He's posted with his trainer, with his coach. We've seen videos of him. Even tonight they showed him on TV, but we haven't really seen OG. So I don't think he'll come back this week. I think we'll have to see him warming up with the team before he comes back and all. But I give it 2 to 3 more weeks. I say before this month ends, before March ends, he'll be back. He'll be on that court. Jeep the Best said, did Hart snatch D Mitch's chain after that corner 3? He did, guys. He did. I was just watching that clip. It's hilarious, and I love it. After hitting that clutch 3, it looked like he wanted to snatch it. He didn't. He just kind of held it there, and that's hilarious, and that's so Josh Hart. They're definitely going to be talking about that on their podcast, the Roommate Show. If you guys don't know, Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart have a podcast together. But that was a great moment, and he could do whatever he wanted in that moment. He just hit a really clutch shot, put the team up front by 6 at that point with a minute left. He ended the game for us right there, and I kind of love that he did that. Hit him up said Tibbs will never learn. 47 minutes for Deuce, only 11 minutes for Alec Burks. Alec Burks is getting a little bit of that Fournier treatment. After Alec Burks is in a slump. Ever since he's become a Knick, ever since he's put on that Knick uniform, he hasn't been shooting well. He hasn't been playing well at all. So his minutes are definitely going to be lowered. And you said it. McBride played 47 tonight. It's insane that these guys are playing nearly the entire game. It definitely is. But I think he had to do it for them to win. 47 is insane. Maybe Burks could have played a little bit more. And he didn't have to play just 11. But still, McBride's the better defender. And right now, I think until Burks gets out of his little funk, until he starts playing better, then he'll get more minutes. But tonight, they really wanted to get that win. They did what they could to get it, and that was playing McBride, one of the best defenders on our team. Even though he's smaller, it was playing him that many minutes, 47 minutes a game. And Tim Savage said, responding to hit him up, said, I'd rather Deuce than Burks because Burks is horrible right now. Glad we got Shake Milton. Oh, yeah, I haven't even mentioned that we did sign Shake Milton. I'm actually going to put out another separate YouTube video about Shake, explaining who he is and, just all that, what he can add to the team. But pretty much what he adds is depth because we know this team has suffered a lot between all the injuries. We're literally down 4 guys now. I mean, is it 4? Yeah, I think it's 4. And still, you never know when another guy's going to go down. Between DiVincenzo, who looked like he had another ankle injury tonight, looked like he was limping a little bit, or Hartenstein, who still has a little bit of a lingering injury. He's missed a few games with that. But still, adding Shake Milton adds to this team, gives them depth, and it gives them another guy who they can play. I was really curious when he comes to the Knicks, when he's playing, whose minutes he will be taking, because Tibbs loves to run that 9-man rotation. So I'm not sure if he'll be taking Burks minutes or McBride. Not really sure, but right now I think it doesn't hurt to have another guy who can play, who we can rely on, that will be on that bench if we need him to play. So he is a shooting guard, but he's basically a combo guard. He could play PG or shooting guard. I think he's 6'5", 6'4", or 6'5", but he has a 7-foot wingspan. So yeah, he's really long, and he plays solid defense. I would definitely say that he's pretty good at defense, and he's really good at finishing around the rim. Most of the highlights I was looking at were from his days in Philadelphia. He played for the Sixers for like 5 years. So, but those highlights were from a few years ago. I think the last time he was on the Sixers was like 2021. And after the Sixers, he went to the Timberwolves. But still, I'm glad to have him on the team, just to have another person we can rely on if we need to rely on someone off the bench. I'm just curious how the whole situation will work with his minutes. But let me know what you guys think about the addition of Milton to the team. Bagman said, "Talk to me nice. What a win. Let's go Knicks." Josh Hart is him. Josh Hart is him. I don't know how he does it for the second half of the season. He always turns it on. We saw it last season. We saw it that second half of the season, he was incredible. He literally shot, I think, like 50% from the 3-point line and the field in his time with the Knicks last season. It was only half a season, but he was incredible, and we're seeing it already in a few games. I mean, not even a few. Ever since I would even say even before All-Star break, when we were dealing with the OG and Randall injury, he was stepping up. And I was saying it before, he may not always shoot the ball really well. Like tonight, 13 points. It's not crazy. It's not 20. It's not 30. But he will always do the other little things. Literally 19 rebounds. It's insane. 10 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. He does everything. And I don't need him to go out there and get 20 points because he's doing everything else. And that helps this team win. SPR said Randall has started mild contact drills with pads. All right, that's really good to hear. He's progressed even further than I thought. I didn't even know if he started the contact drills yet, but that's really great to hear. Jason B said Shake Milton needs to come ASAP if Brunson is out for a while. Yeah, you're right. We were just speaking about the addition of him, and now that we're going to miss Brunson for, I'd say, a week or 2 weeks. It'll be good to have him there if we need him. He's a combo guard, and I'm not sure what the situation will look like if Brunson is out. Will DiVincenzo play point guard? Will McBride play starting PG? I'm not exactly sure, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see because he's gonna be out for at least a week. Almighty said Milton will be available on Tuesday. All right, that's good to hear. Yes, let's see. Tim Savage said, I wish we got Kyle Lowry from the buyout market. He would come up clutch now. He would, honestly. For the Sixers, I'm glad he's back home where I believe he was born and grew up, but he would have been huge for us right now. Losing Brunson because he's still playing pretty good despite him being an older player. Look at what he did to us in the playoffs last year. He wasn't like going crazy, but still, that Miami Heat team, him on that team, they definitely beat us. I mean, they won that series, and I do specifically remember a few plays where Kyle Lowry would get on my nerves. I don't know. He's the type of player to get on my nerves because he was good, and whether it's a clutch shot he hit, I don't know. It's just whatever. He would have been huge if we had him right now. But someone just mentioned it before. Milton, he could be huge for us as well. I mean, he's coming in here as a combo guard, primarily a shooting guard. But we'll see. We'll see what Tibbs decides to do, how he decides to play him. Hit him up said, did y'all see Deuce put Mobley on skates? Oh, man, I think I missed that play, honestly. I tried to watch as much of this game as I could. I was a little distracted helping my family with something, but I'm definitely going to look up that play after this postgame show and, see how it was done. Demario said, salute. Josh Hart was incredible. Josh Hart was a player of the game. I mean, I keep saying, there's already been a few games this season, especially recently, where I thought it was his best game of the season. It was the other night, too, where he had 23 points and I believe over 10 rebounds. And tonight, I think really it was his best game of the season. This triple-double is insane. 19 rebounds. There has to be a record on guys that are 6'4". Like, I need to figure out if anyone that's 6'4" has gotten more rebounds than 19, because what he's been able to do at his height is truly, truly incredible. Dylan said, "Don't forget about the 9-game win streak when he first got traded." Yeah, you're completely right, Dylan. For a second I forgot that we went on a 9-game win streak after we got him. I mean, look at the impact he had last season. He turns it on for the second half of the season, and it seems like he's turned it on now. The way he's been playing, the way he's been stepping up, amazing. Tim Savage Edits said, "I would love to see how Randall and OG with the new acquisitions will be in the playoffs." I agree. They, when we got Burks, when we got Bogdanovic, it was after Randall and OG went down, so they did not get to play together yet. And I'm hoping that Randall and OG, I'm hoping they come back this month. So I'm hoping they get to play together before we start the playoffs. I want them to get some chemistry going. I want them to trust each other, get to know each other, because it's hard to play with a new team, play with new players. You have to adjust to that. I definitely don't want to have them play their first game all together in the first game of the playoffs. That would not be ideal at all. So that's why we're hoping OG and Randall come back soon. They're making progress. I mean, I believe they're supposed to come back within this month. What's up, Nick's a realist? He said, Trae Young is hurt, so maybe we beat the Hawks. I agree. I think we take the Hawks on that one. I believe I'm going to check the series with the Hawks this season. I believe we've won every game against them this season, but I'm going to double check on that. And you said Trae Young is hurt, so that's huge for us. It's like tonight. Donovan Mitchell was out. LeVert was out for them, so it kind of made it like a fair game at that point, with us missing guys, with them missing guys. So it'll be a similar scenario against the Hawks without Trae Young. Ace That Ninja said, "Hi Millie, my favorite fellow Knicks fan. I was so scared that it was an ACL tear. We can't catch a break." I agree with you, Ace. I was super scared when that happened, and I didn't even feel like watching the rest of the game because I literally thought it was ACL tear as well. So to me, there's no point in watching that game. Like, our season's over, it's over. But it was good news. As you can see next to me, Bondi reported it's a knee contusion. And from what I've researched so far, it's a mild sports injury. It shouldn't take him out for months or even end his season. I've seen the web say that people can heal from it in a few days. I don't think he'll be able to heal in just a few days. I'll give it a week or two. Dylan said, "Such an important win tonight. We would have dropped to 5th if we lost." Yeah, huge game tonight. I mean, a lot on the line, especially the standings, as you mentioned. And the standings are a huge thing because ultimately, if we drop even further, we do not want to match up against certain teams in the playoffs. I mean, you guys all know who I'm talking about, the Celtics. I would hate to drop that low where we'd have to face the Celtics first round. So I'm really glad we're still at the 4th. It's impressive at this point that we're still the 4th seed despite how many guys were down. And even Brunson tonight, he only played like 30 seconds. So we won this game without him, and it was a huge win. A lot of guys stepped up tonight. I haven't even spoke about DiVincenzo yet. I mean, DiVincenzo was huge as well. 28 points for him, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block. Great game by DiVincenzo. We needed him to go off. We definitely needed him to go off. As soon as Brunson went down, I'm thinking who's going to step up? Who's going to be the one to score? Because before Brunson went down, in my head, this game I was thinking Brunson was going to get a 40-piece or something, like a 40-piece, 30-piece, and he was going to be the leading scorer. So when he went down, someone else had to do it, and that was DiVincenzo. He ended the game with 28. He had 6 3-pointers, a lot of huge clutch, huge threes in the third quarter there. He played really, really well. And, not just on the offensive end, on the defensive end as well. Getting 3 steals, that's great. And 1 block. I love that about DiVincenzo. He's not just a shooter, at all. He plays aggressive on the defensive end, and he also grabs rebounds. He had 5 tonight. He had 6 tonight. So I love the aggressiveness from him on both ends of the court. Like a lot of shooters, a lot of really great shooters. They don't play D. They're just there to hit their shots, hit their threes, but that's not him at all. He's a great two-way player. I'm glad he bounced back because recently he hasn't been shooting that well, but he did definitely bounce back tonight. Jason B said Jericho may not be good enough for this team. Well, we have to deal with what we have. I know in 21 minutes he did not score at all. He only got 6 rebounds, 1 assist. I mean, it's crazy that our, Josh Hart at 6'4" is out rebounding our center Sims, and by a large margin. Hart had 19, Sims had 6. Sims played half his minutes though. Josh Hart played 45, Sims played 21, so he played half his minutes. I'm sure Sims would have got over 10 if he played that long, but it's crazy to me when Josh Hart out rebounds our centers. I mean, look, Hartenstein got 8 rebounds, Achua got 4. It's crazy. But besides that, Jericho Sims, I think he's been solid. I would say he doesn't do much on the offensive end at all. He's just really there to grab rebounds. He could defend pretty well, a solid defender, but you're not really going to get much on the offensive end from him. And at this point, we have to rely on who we have. Nick's realist said McBride broke Mobley's ankles and scored. I really, really wish I saw that play. I missed it, and someone mentioned it before. So after this post game's done, I'm literally going to look that up ASAP to see that. Can't believe I missed that. Dylan said, just shows how clutch going 14-2 in January was. You're right. That really helped. Like, we're holding on to that. We're holding on to all the wins we got in January right now because I believe when after that month, we were the 4th seed. We might have been the 3rd seed for like a day, but we're still in that spot. The 4th seed from January. And all those wins we got are really helping right now because February wasn't a great month. Besides tonight, we were 3-7 in our last 10. We were losing a lot of games, but it's helpful that we won so many in January. Bagman said, Bogeyman did his thing. You're completely right. I didn't mention Bogdanovic yet, but he stepped up as well with scoring. He had 20 points tonight, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and he was 8 for 15 from the field. Didn't shoot that great from the 3-point line, only 1 for 6. But still, from the field, he was doing it. He was scoring. He was making buckets, and we needed the scoring. We needed it. Just as simple as that, we need scoring because without Jalen Brunson, who is your leading scorer, who is literally providing, nearly 30 points a game. I believe on the season he's averaging 27, but in the month of February, he was scoring 31 a game. So if you think about it, we're missing 31 from him tonight. Who was going to step up? Bogdanovic stepped up, DiVincenzo stepped up, Hart stepped up, all those guys, but shout out Bogey. He did his thing, and that's what we brought him here to do. We brought him here to score, and that's what he's doing. Yeah, I believe it's like his second 20-point game as a Knick. Knicks realist said Donte and Hart weren't going to let the Knicks lose this game. Brunson is pretty much a part of their family, and they're both roommates. They were both roommates with him at Villanova. Yeah, shout out Donte and Hart. I mean, they were the players of this game that stepped up, and you're right. They weren't going to let the Knicks lose. Especially not against the Cavs, who, there's history there. We beat them in the playoffs. Not only did we beat them, we bullied them. They came back to MSG and they never won a game. The moment they came back to MSG, never won a game since that moment. And we're now 2-1 on the season against the Cavs. I think this game was huge for us in terms of bouncing back from a 2-game losing streak, and also in terms of keeping our 4th spot in the Eastern Conference. So, Donte and Hart definitely knew that, and they kept that in mind. They didn't want to let the Knicks lose this game. The Knicks realist said Josh Hart had 19 rebounds, and Allen Mobley combined 20 rebounds. That's insane. That is insane, dude. I don't even know what to say to that because Like, my mind is blown after hearing that. Just, you know, they're two tallest guys on the Cavs, and they combined for just one more rebound than Hart. We're just really, really lucky we have a guy like Hart who is only 6'4", but can rebound extremely well. Better than your better than the opposing team center, better than our own center. It's crazy. A Stat Ninja said Josh Hart thinks he's Draymond Green. I mean, he might as well be. Look at his stat line tonight. Just, he's playing insane right now, and he's playing huge minutes, like a lot of minutes. I don't know how he's still able to walk after games. Literally, the last game he played 47 minutes. He only missed one minute in the game, and tonight he played 45. Dylan said NBA posted that McBride play. I am going to check it out. I will definitely check it out. Let's see. Realist said Bogdanovic only makes contested shots. I swear he doesn't make open shots. That air ball was rough. Yeah, he did miss a few open ones, but he makes the contested ones, which are so confusing. I mean, shouldn't the open ones be easier? I mean, that's always my thought process. But despite missing the open ones and the air ball, he still had 20 and came up big for us tonight in terms of scoring. We needed it. What's up, Alonzo? Thank you for tuning in. Alonzo said everyone stepped up, not just DDV. Everyone always on DDV's junk. On one pays mind too, how the rest of the team got skills to pick up the slack. Yeah, I was saying it ever since the stream started. I was talking about Hart. He's the player of the game pretty much with his stat line, the triple-double. And I would say his three at the end there with a minute left to go in the fourth quarter, Knicks up by 3 points. His three with the shot clock running down was biggest play of the game right there. I mean, the Cavs had come close, and we needed to score that possession because if we didn't, we could have gave them the chance to tie, but that wasn't the case. We made the three. We put the Knicks up. I mean, he put the Knicks up 6, so that pretty much sealed the deal, as well as McBride's three at the end there. That sealed the deal 100%. So shout out McBride as well for hitting that shot right there. We need guys that will hit those type of shots, especially in the playoffs. We didn't have those guys in the playoffs that would hit those threes. They disappeared, but if they can do that in this year's playoffs, which I hope, well, we'll still get there. We'll get there. But we need guys that can hit clutch shots. Alonzo said we're going to have 4 out of 5 of our starters out next game. Can't change that. I just hope to God Alec Burks don't be running point. Can't think that again. And I actually like Burks. I don't think he will, honestly. I don't think he will because next game we will have our newest addition to the team, Shake Milton, and he's a combo guard. So I believe that, he could play PG, he could play shooting guard. So I don't know what Tibbs is going to do, if he's going to start McBride. I don't think he's going to start Burks at all. Or if he puts DiVincenzo at point guard. I don't know what he's going to do. But we also have Milton now. And look, Burks got 11 minutes tonight over McBride's 47. Pretty sure Tibbs is favoring the guy who's going to play defense right now, and that's McBride. I know Burks has been in a huge slump ever since he's become a Knick. So I agree with you. I really hope he's not going to be the one running the point or playing huge minutes down the stretch. Unless he's actually scoring and like making big plays, but we haven't seen much of that yet. Copera said, wait, does that tweet mean Brunson is okay or is it bad? This means he's okay. He's good. Per Bondi, Thibodeau said Jalen Brunson has a knee contusion. That's what the tweet says, and that's good news because we all thought it was worse. We all thought it was a tear, whether, it was an ACL tear, anything like that. So that's not the case. A knee contusion, from what I've researched, is a very mild sports injury, and it could take anywhere from a few days to heal to a few weeks. But I've been seeing a lot of people say 2 weeks. The max is probably 4 weeks. I'm gonna give him a week or two. That's what I'm gonna give him. The time to rest and heal. It's a mild injury, so this is good news. Alonso said, I'm sure JB will be out at least a couple of games just to rest the leg. And it sucks because we're so close to getting OG and Randall back. Then this happened. It really does suck. And the fact that it happened on the first play of the game is insane. Really insane. And when he went up and he came down, made no contact with, I think it was Okoro that was guarding him. I was really scared. Really, really scared because they didn't make contact. We were all thinking the same thing. It sucks, but we are counting on OG and Randall to come back within this month. And I hope Brunson will be back by the time they're back too. Let's give Brunson a week or two. And OG and Randall should be back late March, maybe mid-March. We'll see. Nick's realist said Hart's 3 in the corner off the dribble was the most shocking play this season. Let's be real. No one thought that was going in. Dude, I at first I didn't think it was going in, but sometimes you can tell, from the viewpoint that the fans get, you can tell when a shot's going in, and that definitely looked like it was going straight in after he launched it. And that was super clutch. Literally a second left on the shot clock. He takes that 3 and he makes it. That guy is bold. Alonso also said both Hart and McBride made clutch threes in the fourth. I'm sure ain't nobody thought he was going to land that when it did, but I'm glad it did. Yup. I didn't think they were going to be able to get a shot off, just the way the shot clock was going down. A second left, and he does get the shot off, and the fact that it goes in was huge for us, putting us up 6 at that point. Let's see. PV said, how much do you believe the contusion thing? I don't know, because someone did point out the fact that they first listed OG's injury as a sore left elbow, and it ended up being a lot more serious, and he had surgery. So this is the first report we're getting, the first medical report that it's a knee contusion. Could things change? Yeah, they could change. I'm just hoping that this is the case, that this is 100% the truth right here. Because if it were anything worse, I would be very devastated and very disappointed that it was not reported. The truth was reported first. Alonso said, to me, Deuce should start with DDV. If Tibbs want to put Burks at point in the second unit, I'm cool with that. But first unit should be stronger than the two, of course, right? Yeah, I agree. I think I would do the same thing as well. Recently when Jalen Brunson missed the game, they ran with that, I believe. Deuce started, and it was him and DiVincenzo in the backcourt. Burks, I think I'm cool with him being the backup as well, because I also don't think, even as a backup, he'll be playing a lot of minutes. I mean, Deuce played 47 minutes tonight. So Deuce and DDV would be playing majority of the game. Burks would still be only getting like 10 minutes. So I'm cool with that. And yeah, I just don't think, even though Brunson went down, we should not have Alec Burks playing our starting point guard if that was any option at all. I don't want that. Hit him up said Alec Burks is a better scorer than Milton. Yeah, I definitely think he is a better scorer. I was looking at Milton's averages, his stats, and I think he's only averaging like 4.9 points on this season so far. So he hasn't been able to score that much this season. There was a point in his career where he was a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year. He was averaging nearly, I think it was 12 points, somewhere around that, but he's not at that point in his career anymore. Alec Burks is a better scorer, but Milton might be a better defender. I think he is a better defender, and he's longer. He has a 7-foot wingspan. We'll see. I'm excited to see if he does get minutes. I'm excited, looking forward to seeing how he is with this team. I still have to look up more on him. I'm curious because a lot of the highlights that are out for him are from years ago, and I want to see what he's like now. Someone said he made contact with Hartenstein right before he went up for the shot and was limping slightly after. Yeah, I saw that they pointed that out, and when they bumped, he definitely looked like he was limping after and shaken up, but it was strange to me that he would still, take the shot, and it was a really strange reaction to me, but he did bump knees with Hartenstein right before he did take that shot. Let's see. And this person also said Hart grabbing Donovan Mitchell's chain after that shot was crazy. It was crazy. I love that moment, honestly. Like that's going to be top 10 moments of this season so far. That was, I love it. Honestly love it. That the fact that he did that. I love when we bully the Cavs and we own them. We do own them. We own the Cavs. Try to change my mind. You can't. Tim Savage said, hopefully Randall can take the contact when he gets back. If not, he should get the surgery. That's my biggest concern is that the contact situation, because he is such an aggressive player. He bulldozes his way through opposing teams' defense. We know that when he gets to the rack, he is going through 2 to 3 guys physically. And with his injury, the dislocated shoulder, I'm hoping his shoulder can take that because he did not get the surgery. He's purely healing. He's going off of rest and rehabbing, but probably doing like physical therapy. But like, I'm just hoping that when he comes back, that his shoulder can take all the contact that he usually does. I'll be curious to see if he's hesitant on driving in as much, and if his injury affects his playing style. We might see him take more shots, threes, jump shots, instead of driving in and taking all that hard contact. Hit Him Up said Brunson might play next game. He doesn't like sitting out resting. He was questionable to come back tonight. I did say I saw that they said he was questionable, which was so confusing to me because I was in and out of the game, like watching it. So I saw the first play where he went down, and then I missed a bunch of the game, and then I heard that he was questionable to come back, and I was super confused at that point because I thought he tore his ACL or something similar to that. And hopefully he does rest next game. I don't want him to rush back. I really don't, even if it's not that serious, even if it's I know it's a very mild injury, the contusion, but I don't want him to rush back at all. Give him a few games at least to sit out. Let's see. Someone said OG's injury mislabeling was also due to the trade deadline, though. Less of a reason to mislabel now. Yeah, that's a good point right there. That's a great point. That the fact that they didn't want to announce that it was more serious and that he had surgery until the trade deadline was over. A smart move by the Knicks organization. So you're right. Hopefully what we're hearing now from Bondi that reported it's a knee contusion, hopefully that's straight up the truth. Alonso said, plus without JB, we have no one else to run point. Literally, Burks, sadly, is the second best choice without another point guard or even combo guard. Shake is more of a shooting guard, shooting forward than a SGPG. He isn't a play runner. I've seen a lot of people say that he is a combo guard and he could play between shooting guard and point guard. But you may be right if you've seen more of his highlights and you've watched more of his games that he's more of a shooting guard, shooting forward. I'll be curious to see. I'm really, really curious to see how Tibbs plays him, what position he plays him in, especially now that Brunson will be out, the next week or two. And I agree with someone who said it that Burke should not be getting the huge minutes for this team. He should not be playing that much anymore. He's in a huge slump right now. Ever since he's become a Knick, he hasn't played well at all. And I just think we shouldn't really give him big minutes at all. The Knicks realist said, I trust McBride more than Burks, at least in the regular season right now. Burks takes the worst shots of all time. Pretty much he does. And, you won't say they're the worst shots of all time unless they go in. Sometimes they go in. Sometimes he just chucks up shots. I don't like the selfish play that he does. If he was more of a playmaker, I wouldn't mind him playing more minutes and if he could create shots for others, but that's not the case. He pretty much is sort of a selfish player. Lonzo said, agreed, Milton is a better post-up defender than Burks, but Burks does play some defense too. He didn't get much ability to shine with Maxey and Embiid in Philly. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I agree. He probably is a better defender. Burks, his defense has not been up to par. And he's also older. Milton is 27 years old. Burks is 33. I don't remember exactly how old he is. I'm going to look that up right now. I believe he's 33 or somewhere around that. He's 32. All right. So he's 32. Milton is younger. And, I believe he moves faster. And the fact that he has longer arms helps him become a better defender. 7-foot wingspan right there. Alonzo said, yes, of course, McBride is our only actual PG anyway. I'm talking about a backup to him. The only chance we have to him is Burks, so ain't nobody else right now who can initiate the offense. Yeah. I mean, without Brunson, you're gonna have McBride in that starting lineup, DiVincenzo. So those are your two, combo guards right there. To back up them, you're right. We don't have anyone besides Burks and Milton now. And I don't think that Tibbs will let Milton play the point. He's probably going to make Burks do it because, Burks is a Tibbs guy. Burks has played point guard for Tibbs before, 2021. And if Tibbs needs to rely on someone, it's going to be Alec Burks. Brian said, how about Deuce playing 47 minutes? It's insane, Brian. It's insane. Nearly the entire game. This kid, I know this kid is young. He's young, but his legs are going to be exhausted. I don't know if he's going to be able to walk tomorrow, just playing that amount of minutes. And I think he could have played maybe a few less minutes just to help him out a little bit. But Tibbs did what he felt needed to be done to win this game, playing one of his best defenders, a better defender than Burks. He played McBride 47 minutes. He thought that needed to happen for us to win this game. And, besides doing what he does best, defending, he also put up 16 points tonight, which was pretty huge. Like I said before, when Brunson went down, I was wondering who was going to provide the scoring that we need. Now that we're not just down OG and Randall and Brunson as well, that's a lot of scoring you need to make up for. So McBride stepped up, 6 for 15 from the field, 4 for 9 from the three-point line. I like the three-point shooting. I honestly really like it a lot. That's something he's definitely worked on this season, and I like what I'm seeing from him. It's funny because the past few games, we've been saying like give Deuce more minutes, even just I would say like majority of the season, a lot of people have been saying that. Well, tonight he got the most minutes. He got 47 minutes. So, we can't say he didn't get the minutes tonight. Let's see. Oh, No Chill said, I told my wife not to talk to me when I seen him go down. That's hilarious. Literally, I was watching with my family at that point, and I missed it. I missed when he went down initially because I was eating. And of course, like I'm just looking down at my plate, eating up. And I hear it on the broadcast. I look up. Just a really scary moment for us Knicks fans. And it's funny you told your wife not to talk to you because just literally all of us probably did the same thing. Like, don't talk to me. I need to see what's going on right now. And my heart just stopped. Brian said, bro, y'all know how hard it is to play 47 minutes and hit clutch shots like Deuce and guarding good players. Deuce is a warrior for playing 47 minutes, and like, you're so right about that. And, you know, between him and Hart, they're both warriors, straight up working hard, playing hard. You're right. Like, it's very, very hard to not only play that amount of minutes, but to be defending one of the best players on the team. He was defending Garland, and I saw a majority of the game, and to also have to hit shots and hit clutch shots. So both Josh Hart and McBride did that. Literally, Hart hit the 3 that put them up, and then after that, it was the McBride 3. That's super impressive for them to have played majority of the game, but to still hit the clutch shots. I'm really, really impressed by what I saw by both of them tonight, especially McBride. Let's see. A little bit more comments before I begin to close up. Brian said, Josh Hart without Brunson is our best point guard. You know, he had 10 assists tonight. You might be right. You might be onto something, but there's also been multiple games where he's had a lot of assists. I was talking about it before. I don't know which game it was against. He had 23 points, 6 assists, and you know, this dude isn't our starting point guard, but he's passing the ball really, really well. I mean, this isn't the first time he's been able to do it. He's been doing it a few times this season. And again, I'm impressed. I'm super impressed. So let's see. But he would be starting. So he wouldn't be able to be our backup point guard, if you're referring to that. Lonzo said bench maybe Burks, Shake, Charlie, Bojan, and Sims. Oh, well, that's crazy that we're going to be playing Charlie Brown. But again, Tibbs runs that 9-man rotation, so I doubt that Charlie gets any minutes at all. He's going to be playing the starters like nearly the entire game, and then, you know, 4 guys from the bench. But the guys from the bench I don't think they're going to be getting a lot of minutes. Like Sims, he got 21 minutes. I would say he gets somewhere around that. And then Burks had 11 minutes tonight. So I don't think Charlie's going to get much minutes. The Knicks realist said, X-rays only show broken bones and sprains. I believe they don't show tears and inflammation. Oh, shoot. But he said, I'm not a doctor, though. Okay, yeah. So PV asked, is JB getting an MRI? And realist said that the X-rays only show broken bones. And now you're starting to worry me, realist, because this whole live stream I was just saying I'm very glad there was no tear anywhere. But I'm not a doctor, so I didn't realize. And I've never like had any broken bones or anything, so I just didn't realize. But I believe he is going to do an MRI. Before I came on and started the live stream, I saw a few people mentioning that on Twitter. PV said, yeah, that's why I asked. The X-ray thing has big bait and switch energy. I still hope there isn't a tear, and I guess we'll see with the MRI. I believe he has to take it to know. Alonzo said, I think the Knicks realist is right. I think MRI shows other stuff, and he was negative, Tip said. We got to look out for the updates, guys. I don't have any more update besides this right next to me where Bondi reported. So if you guys are on Twitter or just Google it, within the next day, within tomorrow, we're going to probably have another update. I'm hoping that if he does do an MRI, that it shows no tear at all. I would not want that, because this whole stream I've been very relieved that there was some good news, because I was researching knee contusion, and the recovery on that is a few weeks, like a week or two. I've even seen some sources say a few days. But if the MRI does show a tear, That's a whole different ball game right there. PV said JB is going to be the most radioactive man in the NBA the next couple of weeks. You said it right there. That's completely right. Man. Now I'm still thinking about this injury now. I'm gonna put my notifications on for Bondi, all the Knicks reporters, so that I can get the updates on what's happening to Brunson. Brian said it's a sore left knee from a knee contusion. I doubt it's a tear. Because, someone mentioned it before that he bumped knees with Hartenstein. So it has to be from that, right? The injury has to be from that. It's not from her, not from him. Sorry, I said her because I saw this comment. Her name is Millie. Alonzo said, "What's your name again? I keep calling you girl, but I'd like to know your name." My name is Millie, whatever. You can just say Millie. But he also said, "At this point, I've seen you more than Joe, Angelo, and Vinny. You're the one whose name I don't know for some reason." That's all right, Alonzo. It's okay. I believe I have my name in the bottom corner, if you can see. Oh, it's not up there anymore. I usually have it at the bottom corner. But Angelo and Vinny and Joe usually do live streams and during the day, I would say around noon or 1 p.m. So they usually do some midday live streams, updates on whatever is going on with the team. They'll go over stuff like that. But I try to cover the post-game shows, and I'm trying to stay consistent with it. I missed the last one, but yeah. Let's see. Jason B said if he tore his ACL, the trainers would know immediately. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, and I think that would come out right away. And this type of thing where Bondi says he has a knee contusion, that wouldn't have been reported, because that would get our hopes up. That would get a lot of fans disappointed if it ends up coming out that he does have a tear. So I think the knee contusion is from when he bumped knees with Hartenstein, because he did not make contact with his defender on that play, on that shot. And the Knicks realist said, we didn't find out about Porzingis tore his ACL until the next morning with the Knicks, remember? Oh, my God. Yeah, and he said, I'm scared. I think he'll be fine, though. If it said questionable at one point. It did say questionable. It did say at one point in the game, they said he was questionable to return, which is insane because, we all thought the season was over and he was gone for the season. But you're right. I completely forgot about Porzingis' injury when he tore his ACL. That's crazy. We didn't find out until the next morning. I wonder if they had reported something that night, though, because Bondi's literally reporting that he has a knee contusion. So if he reports that and we all go look up what is a knee contusion, we all find out, that's a mild injury that can heal within a week or two. And then the next morning, tomorrow morning, they report that it's an ACL. He tore his ACL. That's crazy right there. It's crazy. You're going to have, it's going to be riots right there. I mean, just the reporting would have to be better. Alonzo said, nice to meet you, Mel. I'm Alon. Too many brothers named Alonzo who go by Zoe. Oh, that's funny. Remember we had a guy on the Knicks, what was it? Alonzo Trier? Bucket. He was a pure bucket, but I believe we also nicknamed him Zoe and called him Zoe a few times. But nice to meet you, Lon. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for all the comments. Knicks Realist was also responding to Jason B about Porzingis' injury. Let's see. And Alonzo said, don't even remind me of Porzingis, bro. I forgot about that. Honestly, so many things have happened within the past few years. But Porzingis' injury was a huge one. I mean, another moment where my heart stopped and I was very, very upset. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to get a cup of water for a second. Okay, we're back. And I think I'm just about to wrap it up anyways. I've been live an hour, and, if there's one thing to take away from this game, it's that Josh Hart is him. Josh Hart is one of the hardest working people ever. Might be one of the hardest working guys in New York. New Yorkers work hard, but he's not even from New York, and he's just has a lot of grit to him. Again, his stat line tonight was, uh, let's see, 13 points, 10 assists, 19 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Probably his best game of the season, I would say. There's been a few up there. He's had another triple double, the 10 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, but this definitely upped that. And this got us the win. Everything he did tonight got us the win. So big props to Josh Hart, and shout out to the entire team between McBride, DiVincenzo for stepping up, Bogdanovic, who scored 20. I mean, when you are missing your main weapons, it takes an entire team to make up for that. It's not just Josh Hart who's doing it. It's also everyone else. So while I shout out Josh Hart, I'm also shouting out the entire team. Again, Precious Achiuwa, he did his thing. 14 points. 4 rebounds, two steals, and 3 blocks. Like, they were showing up, and I'm really proud of this team tonight because they've gone through a lot of injuries. And someone said it before that good teams will still find ways to win even when they're down guys. Tonight, that was the case. Even without Brunson, even without Randall, OG, Mitch, this team found a way to win the game. They worked hard. I mean, that's literally the case. That's literally the case, that they out-hustled the Cavs. They outscored them. That's just the case. Just reading some more comments over here before I wrap it up. Let's see. Realist said Precious underrated game. Precious is always underrated. The blocks were huge. And the defensive effort from him. I'm really glad we have Precious on our team. He's been huge ever since we've gotten him. I know that he had a bad first few games, where a lot of people had things to say that he can't. I know I'm not even going to bring it up, but still, he's been huge and exactly underrated tonight. The entire team underrated. Everyone stepped up tonight for us to get this win, and it was a huge win to snap our 2-game losing streak and to keep us in the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. We needed this win very badly tonight, and I'm very glad it came against the Cavaliers, who we bullied and beat down in the playoffs. We're now 2-1 against them on the season. Look, guys, if a playoff rematch were to happen, I will not be mad at that because I have a lot of confidence in this Knicks team to put away the Cavs again. I know they were down some guys as well. We saw Donovan Mitchell on the bench there. They were down LeVert, but we were definitely more undermanned and shorthanded. We have 4 out of 5 of our starters missing. They still had some of their weapons, but they weren't successful. We were. And it was the grit of this team tonight that led to this win. Let's see. Alonzo said, Precious needs to be given apologies too. He and Hart deserve better than what he's been getting from the fan base. My cousin on NBA Twitter, and things he tell me, it's messed up, for real. Oh, yeah, Alonzo. I don't know. I guess you're not on Twitter, but Knicks Twitter, NBA Twitter is insane. You should have seen the things that these people were saying about Precious the first few games. He put on that Knicks uniform after he was traded to the Knicks. Guys were comparing him to, I don't even know. Just they were saying he can't do anything, and it was insane. Like, literally his first few games as a Knick, and they're saying these things. I always want to give someone the benefit of the doubt. I will give them at least 5 games or 10 games to prove themselves, and that's what he did. That's pretty much what he did. But yeah, people got to apologize to Precious. I'm pretty sure they already have. They've already apologized. He was a steal of that trade. Last comment of the night. Knicks realist said, let's call it how it is. Mobley and Allen are soft. Yup. I mean, they were if we rematch against them, it will be the same scenario where Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson bully them and become their daddies. Sorry I have to say it, but that will be the case again. We all know what happened last year. It'll be the same thing. And then Precious will also be bullying, and Hart will also be bullying their two big men. I would love to see it. I would honestly love to see it. So let's drop down to the 7 seed so we can face them, because they are the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. We'll see what happens. I mean, serious. I don't want the Knicks to drop down that low. They're 4th right now. Let's try to do the best we can. And Alonzo said, yeah, my cousin said he's basically another Tony Snell. Yeah, a lot of people said that. A lot of people said that too. I remember seeing that. Alonzo said, I mean, he said Peeps was saying that, not him. Good. That's good. Nick's realist said, you think Cleveland's cool? I never heard anyone say I'm going to Cleveland on vacation. Exactly. Iconic quote right there. Joakim Noah said that. I love that quote because I used it so much last year when we beat the Cavs. I would just post that constantly every time we won against them and when we won the series. But Alonzo said, Joakim Noah, don't even remind me of his paid for too long. Dude. Okay, that was an iconic quote, but yeah, don't bring up Joakim Noah days on the Knicks and his contract. Let's not do that. I'm trying to end this night on a positive note that the Knicks took the win. Jalen Brunson is hopefully healthy. Well, he's not healthy because he just got injured and he has a knee contusion. But let's hope that when he does his MRI, that there's no tear at all to be seen there. So let's end it on those hopes right there. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight and for everyone who commented. I mean, special shout out to Alonzo and the Knicks realists who are still here commenting. I appreciate you guys. I was very glad to read all of your comments. It keeps the discussion going. It keeps the post game going. But before I end it, I just want to say I hope that if you aren't subscribed already, if you could subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate that. We're still on the road to 2,500 subs, and thumbs up the video. I'm not sure how much it's at right now, but I appreciate all the thumbs up. And we have one more person in here right now. Knicks fans, Brazil. Salute from Brazil. Salute to all the Knicks fans in Brazil. Dedication right there if you're watching from a different country. All the international fans. Shout out to you guys. I mean, that's a different level of dedication to watch the Knicks, who, I mean, I don't even know what the time zone is from Brazil, or just shout out to you guys. Let's see. Last few comments. The Knicks really said, Alonzo, be positive. Remember, we overcame that BS and we're a playoff team now. Exactly. Those Joakim Noah contract days are in the past. They're in the past. It's just crazy to think about. I'm going to get someone I know from another podcast to come over too. We both got jaded from one, so I think he'd like adhere to. Oh, that's dope. That's really dope, Alonzo. I appreciate that. I honestly appreciate all the support and anyone I could get to watch. I'll try to do more post-game shows. I'm trying my best to be consistent at it, to do it after every game. Sometimes it's hard. I'll be just distracted doing something else, but I'll definitely try to be consistent from now on. And Knicks fans Brazil, so thank you. You're welcome. I've seen your page before. It's awesome. I love it. Continue doing what you do for all the Knicks fans that are in Brazil. I mean, you represent them, and you know, a lot of your videos, you translate the Knicks information for them. That's amazing right there. Again, thank you to everyone who tuned in, and have a great night, guys.